Oh, tell you what, it's actually a nice day, although it's a bit nippy, but then it's the end of October. What can you expect? Good afternoon, my lovelies, and welcome to... Well done, Madam Fanny. I'm always impressed when my cars start. Well, I've obviously got a history of cars that don't. Welcome to Saturday's Daily Diary. I'm Boaty, and if you've never watched one of my videos before, I would advise you not to watch this one either, because God knows it's not going to be any better than the other buggers. Right, here we go. Another day, another drive, and I have been inspired for today's drive-by discussion, or whatever you want to call it. Hello, YVETTE CARTE-BLANCHE. Hello, Officer CRABTREE. Darling Netty. Bloody hell, could you have parked any closer to darling Netty? I've got to get that out tomorrow, for God's sake. As the Bishop said to the actress. Blood and sands. Hello, sheepies. I've completely forgotten where I got to. I've been inspired to start to have a discussion today. Sorry, darlings, I'm a bit giddy. A discussion today called something along the lines of the pitfalls of being an honest YouTuber. Right, there are reasons behind this. So this is going to be a bit of discussion and a bit of, you know, bringing you up to speed, daily diary. It's just going to be me waffling at you for the next 27 minutes and coughing and clearing my throat and probably wiping stroke blowing my nose. Hopefully it won't get any worse or more biological than that. We live in hope and die in despair. Oh, that's a nice Austin 1300 Vanden Pla. You couldn't see it, it was behind me. Right, okay. I am pretty open, I think, on YouTube and social media generally. Probably far too open. That's a bit bright. Sensible precautions that other YouTubers take, I haven't. You all know where I live, and if you don't, it's easy enough to find. You all know where I work. And I share everything with you, and I do it entirely honestly. I'm very open. I've shared my wedding video with you. It's there on the channel. I have I don't keep anything secret. I'm hideously indiscreet. I've proposed on a live stream. Oh, you name it. I've let you see me in the bath. No wonder I haven't got any bloody subscribers. Dear me. 'Tis a lovely day, isn't it? What a fabulous autumn afternoon. And I'm, as far as I'm aware, I am completely honest. Probably way too open and completely honest. Why? Why do I do that? I find it easier. I find it easier. I'm not clever enough to hide things, make up stories, make up narratives. I'm just not clever enough to do it. And I do a live stream every single night of the year where I drink wine. And as they say, in vino veritas, in wine there is truth. So during the videos, I'm honest out of choice. During the live streams, I'm honest out of slight drunkenness. But, oh, hello, get over, you great hulking Burke. Yeah, so there you go. And that can come back to bite you on the arse, of course. I don't have any secrets. No skeletons in the closet, as far as I'm aware. There are things that I would prefer to be private, but I don't have any secrets, if that makes sense. So, for example, I would rather that people didn't turn up at my home when they're complete strangers and I don't know them, I would rather they didn't turn up at my home unannounced. But it's happened, and I didn't get angry, and I didn't turn them away, because you allow that possibility if you allow people to see where you live. Any YouTuber with some sense keeps that well and truly hidden, but old idiot boy here, he doesn't worry about those things. It's a wonder I haven't been murdered or ravaged. Well, let's face it, murdered is more likely. And there can be problems with being honest, and one of those very slightly arose today, so I thought, well, I'll talk about it, because I do that. Right, there was a comment on today's video that I uploaded earlier than normal, because I got up a bit earlier than normal, and that's the way these things work. And it wasn't an unpleasant comment, it wasn't a particularly offensive comment, it was just a gentleman, I think it was a chap, yeah, it was a chap, I'm sure, who decided to let me know that I was a beggar and a scrounger, and he wouldn't be watching any more of my videos. Now, the comment is still there. I've not deleted it. Neither have I blocked the commenter or anything like that. It's there to be seen, and you can see my reply. And as I say, it wasn't a particularly nasty comment. It was just a chap who said, I've watched your recent few videos. He's obviously a viewer who's recently found the channel. He said, and I thought, there's a gent who, an honest, decent gent, not asking for money or anything like that. He's fallen on hard times, as we all have, post-divorce, whatnot, and I will watch him. And then I watched today's video, and you are very clearly on the scrounge. And I don't like that. People should stand on their own feet. So I'm not watching anymore. And I totally get that. And I replied, quite a lengthy reply actually, effectively saying, yeah, totally understand. Thank you for watching this far, and good wishes. To which he then replied, well, at least you can take constructive criticism, unlike some. And I thought, well, is it really constructive criticism? But it wasn't unpleasant, and I understand how it can come across, because in a sense, anybody who does a YouTube channel is a beggar and a scrounger, in a sense. Because what do? Please like, please subscribe, please watch my videos, please don't skip the adverts, please become a channel member. That's kind of begging, kind of scrounging, isn't it? I suppose you could make that argument. I don't know. And this is a discussion, darlings. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a discussion about it. So yeah, in a sense, you can understand it. And no doubt, I have no doubt that there are people who do use YouTube and other social media platforms as a way of getting money out of people. Not a nice thing to say, not a nice thing to think, but I'm sure it happens. You hear about these things. I flatter myself, perhaps unfairly, that I'm not the worst. For example, I have a merch shop. I hardly ever mention it. I certainly don't ram it down your throat in every video and every live stream. I mention it maybe once or twice a year. In fact, most of the time I completely forget that I've got a merch store. I certainly haven't looked at it in 3 or 4 months. Occasionally people will post in the Facebook group when they buy a hoodie or a t-shirt or something, and they post a picture of it, and I think, well, how lovely. Thank you, because, you know, newsflash, if you buy something from my merch shop, guess what? I get a little cut of it, and I'm very grateful. But I don't ram it down your throat. Live streams are another example. I do not monetize the live streams, because I do the live streams for the sake of the community and for my own sake, quite honestly. It's not entirely altruistic. I get as much from the live streams and the community as anybody else does, possibly more. So I give my time very gladly indeed, and I don't monetize them, not while they're live. I could do, and I would earn money from it. You know, the live streams are well attended. If I splattered them with adverts, that would be, and considering I do them every day, that would be a small, very small, but existent revenue stream. I don't do it. I don't do it because the adverts would interrupt the community flow. Nobody would be seeing anything at exactly the same time, and it's just not, it's not a money grabbing exercise. YouTube as a whole, for me, is not a money grabbing exercise. It's a hobby, and it's a platform for building a community and for making friends. So the live stream's not monetized, not while live. Admittedly, I monetize them after they're live. So if you watch a rerun of a live stream, there will be adverts. But while they're live, not monetized. I try not to beg for anything, really. I try not to do too much of the old please like and subscribe, please share with your friends, please do this, please do that, please do the other. Well, I mean, if I'm totally honest, half the time I just don't think about it. I'm rubbish at self-promotion, but it's not something that I would purposely want to do, because that's not what it's about for me. Okay, now here we get on to the question of honesty and YouTube. As I said, I put my life out there on YouTube, and guess what? It's my real life. It is my real life. And as I say, I'm very open. People can and have come to my home. They can stay in my home. Any bugger can come to the restaurant. And many people have met me in community meetups or just individual meetups. Anybody, any of you can ping me a message and say, hey Boaty, I'd love to have lunch with you. And the chances are I'll say yes. Or they might say, I'd love to come and have a night in my motorhome with you and Netty. Again, chances are I'll say yes. If I've never spoken to you before, or I don't know you from the live stream, then I might ask you a couple of questions. But more often than not, I'll just say, yeah, that'd be great. And you've seen it happen. There are videos. Only last week, I met up with Corrie and Paul. A couple of weeks before that, I met up with Jen. I mean, it's a long, long list. I am very, very open. And yeah, so the life that you see on YouTube is my real life. And there's nothing hidden, and there's nothing faked or transmogrified in any way, shape or form. And that can create difficulties. And the one of them that I'm going to talk about now is this, right? So when I do these daily diary videos, or when I've done them over the last 7 days, they have been concentrating on something that's happening to me in my life, right? And I've told you all about it. And the situation is, excuse me, the situation is what it is. I'm being made homeless, and I can't afford to rent anywhere else, and all this, that and the other. Now then, because I tell you the complete truth, and because I share with you everything that I go through while I'm dealing with this, and how I'm going to go forward and how I'm going to make sense of it. Because I let you see all of that, because it's what I do, good, bad or indifferent, whatever I'm doing, I share it with you lot, because I'm not clever enough to come up with any better content. I can't make a really clever video, or I'm not knowledgeable enough about anything to to do an instructional video or anything like that. All I can do is just come on and be me. So there is, and I can understand this, the fact that somebody goes onto YouTube and says, hey, guess what, I'm in a bad position, this is happening to me and I'm skint. Now, that can be the truth, but you couldn't blame anybody for interpreting that as, hey, I'm in the shit, I'm skint, give me money. You can understand why people would jump to that conclusion, and in many cases that could be the truth of it. That could be the truth of it. In my case, it isn't, but I wouldn't blame anybody for thinking that it was. Now, I've had quite a few comments saying, hey mate, you've got over 7,000 subscribers. Why don't you just suggest that every subscriber bungs you 50p and boom, that's your seasonal pitch for the first year covered? And I've replied to them all the same way. That's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. This is not in any way, shape or form a cry for help or anything of that nature. I'm not going to do that, never going to do it, and I don't, and I won't. It's just not what this is about. As I've replied to the comments, I've got 2 good arms, 2 good legs, I've got whatever brain I've got left after the wine has done its job, and that's more than enough, more than anybody needs. Lickpenny coming up on your left, check it out. That should be all that anybody needs to get themselves out of their own mess. And there you go, that is the situation. So a few people, as I say, quite a few people have suggested that. Absolutely not. No crowdfunding, no asking for this, that or the other. Just no, not what this is about. Not what this is about. I was going to say something else then. What was it? Oh, and it was germane to the subject, and it's completely gone out of my mind. That's the problem when you don't shut up talking. It might come back in a minute. So all I would ask of anybody, if you want to support me or support the community, support the channel, subscribe, that would be nice. Doesn't cost you anything. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Again, it doesn't cost you anything, but it genuinely does help. It tweaks the algorithm in some way. I'm not clever enough to understand how, but it does help. Leave a comment. Again, that helps with the algorithm. And none of those things cost a penny, but they will make a difference. And above all, the biggest one of all, when the adverts come up, let them run. Leave your knob alone. Don't touch that knob. Letting the adverts run is the biggest way that you can support the channel, because there's one guy in the comments who swears blind this isn't true. It is. It is. YouTubers earn money basically by advertising revenue. Advertisers pay, not a set fee, it's an auction basis. Advertisers pay to advertise on videos. They pay Google, and under the YouTube partnership program, if you are a partner, i.e. monetized, then you get a percentage of that payment when an advert appears on your channel. Now, guess what? The longer that advert runs, and the more people that watch that advert, the more we get paid. Now, it's fractions of a penny, but it adds up. So, if you want to support me or the channel, subscribe, like, comment, and don't skip the adverts. And if you do those things, then you are making a difference, and it won't cost you a single penny piece. And I don't think that you will ever or have ever heard me asking for a single penny piece. It's just so not what this is about. However, I understand why somebody who didn't know me or didn't know any YouTuber might assume that that was not the case. So that is my little response to that comment, and to any other comments of that type that probably will roll in. I'm amazed it took 7 days before one of them did, because, as I say, I wouldn't blame anybody for not jumping to that conclusion, but making that assumption or reaching that conclusion. All of that said, I mean, the idea of asking strangers for money, that is de facto, by definition, begging, isn't it? Now, obviously, if you're not aware, I do community live streams 365 days of the year, every single night. I do them on Christmas Day, New Year's Day, my birthday, whatever. Never ever miss one. The night of my car crash that damn nearly killed me, I still did a live stream. In fact, I did two. And sometimes people appreciate, well, people always appreciate it. Sometimes people show their appreciation by gifting a channel membership, sending a super chat, sending a super thanks, or even bunging a couple of quid via PayPal for a bottle of wine, or doing the buy me a coffee thing. Oh, somebody did that yesterday. Thank you very much. thank you. I have replied to it. Only the second person ever to do it, because again, I don't shove it down your throats. People asked me to put these things into place, and I did, but I don't mention them. So occasionally, my live stream community, who I know, who I spend time with every night, who know me, they will show their appreciation, and I'm deeply grateful for it. It makes a difference, and I graciously and gratefully accept. But in my mind, at least, there's all the difference in the world between that and just going out to complete strangers and saying, hey, guess what? I'm a Pooh Creek, give me your money. And that's just not on, is it? That's just not on. Anyway, there you go, that's that. In other news, I had Momo for lunch, and they were fantastic. And right, okay, so back to the thing that we have been discussing, Lickpenny and the seasonal pitch. Following on from yesterday's video, God, I've been rattling on for 23 minutes. I'd better make this quick. I think I'm going to go for it. I haven't booked it yet. I'll book it tonight or tomorrow. Assuming there's availability, I'm going to spend Monday night at Lickpenny and have a good look around, show you guys all around. I've never been on the site. I've looked at the reviews. I've never been on the site because it's so local. I go past it every bloody day. Why would I go there on a jolly in Netty? Well, situation's obviously very different now. So yeah, I'm going to spend Monday night there, assuming they have availability. Check it out for myself. Now, again, people have been really helpful in the comments. And somebody pointed out that, hey, what about your month's rent? There'll be a month where you're not paying rent on the cottage. Surely that would be a chunk towards the first quarter of the seasonal pitch. And of course, they're right. I'm pretty sure I pay my rent in advance. I think that's normal. So there'll be a month where at the end of the month, that rent money won't have to be paid because I'm not going to be there for the next month. And that will be a chunk towards the seasonal pitch. Hadn't thought about that. Now, I'm not sure that that would actually work out, because if I go for this, or try and go for it, then I'm going to be taking it from January the 1st. But there's, as far as I'm aware, I'm still going to be in Windy Bum for the month of January. I've not received formal notice to quit yet. I believe that's a month's notice. I've been told to expect formal notice to quit in the new year. So I'm expecting to have to be out by the end of January. But I would take the seasonal pitch from the beginning of January if I can do it. Because I don't want them to disappear. You know, I don't want other people to grab them and for there to be none left. And at least then it's in place. I know I've got my safety net. I know I've got the safety net of NETTY, seasonal pitch, safety, security, bing, bash, boom, wallop, all of that. So I don't think I'd have that rent money free at that point, but knowing that it would be coming means that I would feel comfortable borrowing that amount from a friend or from work, whatever, on the basis that I would be certain I could pay it back. I'm trying to do this without getting into any more debt, because, you know, debt can just come back to bite you on the arse, can't it? Especially if you borrow from a friend and it all goes tits up, and, you know, it can spoil a friendship. So I'm trying to avoid having to go down that route. Other people have helpfully pointed out that there's Sean's box. That won't mean anything to you unless you watch live streams, but yeah, absolutely, there's Sean's box. There's blah blah blah. So yeah, so the plan is spend Monday night at Lickpenny in NETTY, have a bloody good look around, video it, show it to you lot, see what you all think, and if we're all in agreement, I'm going to apply for the seasonal pitch virtually immediately. You know, at some point after this has happened, and hopefully by the time it's hopefully accepted, I'll have found some way to scrape the monies together. So there you go. That is the plan. That is today's daily diary. That's today's discussion, and that is today's rant. I apologise if it was a bit ranty. I didn't mean it to be. As always, let me know your thoughts, feedback, responses, abuse in the comments, and that's it for this one. Oh, and community meetup tomorrow, community Sunday lunch tomorrow. So looking forward to that. So you'll hear all about that on Monday. Yeah, that's how it works, isn't it? Yeah, that's how it works. Right then, darlings, that is it. I will look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, all the love in the world from me, and on that sunny note, toodle pip. See you tomorrow, darlings. Oh, that's bright.
The YouTube channel's not any good, but he's a nice guy. I'm sorry, Mr. Boaty.
Oh. You had me at YouTube videos. Let's go, Boaty.
Boaty's such a great guy. Such a great guy. Very tall. Such a great guy. I wish Boaty was here in America with me right now.
You twat. Wanker.